Local 12's Anjanette Levy is live at the Boone County Jail, where 3 men are locked up tonight charged with this murder. Anjanette.
Cammie, Jeffrey Allen, Anthony Baumgartner, and Stephen Elliott Harkness are all being held here at the Boone County Jail behind me. They're all held without bail tonight. This started as a search for a missing man. It has now evolved into a murder investigation. Investigators combed over a field on Mesmer Lane where the torso and leg of a man were found near this barn. The barn is next to a house where Jeffrey Allen lived with his mother. Neighbors were surprised when deputies appeared at the property late Monday.
It's different. We're just not used to a little dead-end road here, and everybody generally knows each other, and this was unusual.
A cadaver dog showed interest in the back of a small SUV parked in Allen's driveway. Detectives then photographed it. Boone County Sheriff's officials say Allen, Anthony Baumgartner, and Stephen Elliott Harkness lured the victim to Walton last Wednesday under the guise of a drug deal.
They were going to rid the world, perhaps one person at a time, of the evil in it. And this person, if it's the one we're thinking it is, or could be, is a suspected heroin dealer.
Tom Shaben says the men admitted to kidnapping, beating, and dismembering the man. Shaben says the victim was killed last Wednesday and other body parts were placed in a dumpster at the Super 8 motel in Florence last Friday. Sheriff's officials looked for other body parts in a Pendleton County landfill all day, but found nothing. Meanwhile, on Mesmer Lane, neighbors said they'd seen young men coming and going from the small brown house.
I assumed some of the young guys that I saw coming and going might have been her son and maybe some of his friends, but, I didn't know anything about it.
And now they're trying to get used to the idea that a gruesome crime scene sits yards from their homes.
Would you like to have body parts laying in near your family and household and all that? I feel very scared.
Now, the people we spoke with on Mesmer Lane say they did not know any of these young men. Allen and Harkness, we learned, had been in the Marine Corps, but Allen had been dishonorably discharged. Meanwhile, Boone County officials are still trying to positively identify the victim. He's a 19-year-old man. They do believe they know his identity. Reporting live from the Boone County Jail, Anjanette Levy, Local 12 News.
All right, Anjanette, thank you. Jeffrey Allen, Anthony Baumgartner, and Stephen Harkness will be back in court on Thursday. Along with murder charges, they're also charged with kidnapping, abuse of a corpse, and tampering with evidence.
New tonight, a police cruiser is hit during a chase. Lebanon police say a man came to a home at about 9 o'clock tonight to check out a car he found on Craigslist. The suspect reportedly took off in that car. Officers caught up with the driver on I-75 near Westchester. During the chase, when the driver hit an Ohio State Highway Patrol cruiser on Ohio 63 just west of Markey Road. The suspect's car flipped on its top. Officers arrested the suspect there at the scene. Padded rooms in schools. It's a growing trend. Teachers put children who are acting out in this so-called seclusion room. Today, the Ohio Board of Education adopted a set of guidelines for those rooms. Local 12's Paula Toti gives us an inside look at the seclusion room at a district in the area and explains the district is using the rooms to calm behavior.
First of all, let's explain what we're talking about. This is the room. It's got padded walls. You can see it's a small area. In this one, there's a beanbag chair. On the outside, the teacher or an aide would be standing here holding down the lock button. When they lift their finger off, the room is no longer locked.
Lakota Local Schools calls this a seclusion space. Children identified as having certain emotional issues may be sent to the room as part of a behavior modification plan agreed to by their parents.
I think it means safety and security for the students and the faculty, and I think that it's a good room that the kids can go into when they're feeling frustrated.
Allison Tuttle says this room has worked well for calming her 8-year-old son. He's actually volunteered to go into the room on his own. The door at this school is only locked if there's concern for physical safety.
It's up to code, ventilated. We have everything is done so that it's very safe for the students.
The State Board of Education guidelines say the rooms can only be used when there's immediate risk of physical harm to the student or someone else. Like the new guidelines, it's not used here as a holding area or punishment.
We're a public school and we deal with all types of students, and so our job as schools is to have a continuum of services. And part of that continuum is serving students that have acting out behaviors.
The new state guidelines call for records to be kept on when the rooms are used, and that is something they are already doing at Lakota.
I think it's a wonderful thing.
This room has been used 25 times this school year. The district wanted to be transparent about the use, and they say they are proud of how they monitor the guidelines and worry about anyone who'd want to be secretive about the process. And the new state guidelines are just that, rules, not law. In Westchester, Paula Tody, Local 12 News.
Lakota Local Schools is reviewing the new state policy and will consult with lawyers for the district to see if using the rooms give children a timeout, and giving children timeout fits with the new guidelines. We'll let you know how it goes.
3 business break-ins since the first of the year. 2 businesses were hit in Springdale and a 3rd in Forest Park. Local 12's Angela Ingram joins us live from Springdale with pictures of the man police want to find. Angela.
Well, Cammie, if you take a look behind me, this used to actually be a window, but now it's been boarded up because someone came in here and broke out the window. 2 of these businesses are smaller mom and pop type stores, and one of the owners tells me to have his money stolen and his property damaged is a big expense. A piece of plywood covers the opening where there used to be a large window. Last Friday, a worker came into Mi Familia restaurant and noticed someone broke in.
He came inside, the window was broken, and they just took pictures and tried to take the prints, but they don't have too much clues.
The thief took a computer and cash. Springdale police think the same man broke into Star Wig and Beauty Supply on Springfield Pike a few days before. He broke a large glass window to get in. Surveillance cameras caught him walking around and stealing. Both businesses are family-run and smaller. Workers say it's upsetting when they're just trying to earn an honest living.
Well, it's sad because we're trying to live, we're trying to be honest with everyone, you know what I mean? But it's sad. It never happened before.
Police think the same man broke into yet a 3rd business in nearby Forest Park. Although his handiwork has caused damage, workers are determined to keep things running.
We have to keep going. Yeah, we still have to make money to pay for the damage.
And the owners here tell me they're also considering stepping up security to try to prevent this from happening again. Jorge is telling me that the cost of replacing this is going to be more than $1,500. Live tonight in Springdale, Angela Ingram, Local 12 News. Cammie, back to you.
So frustrating for these business owners. Angela, thank you. If you know anything about these business break-ins, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers, and that number is 352-3040. Remember, you don't have to give your name to get cash for clues.
President Obama will announce proposals to try to curb gun violence tomorrow. He will be joined by Vice President Joe Biden and children from around the country who wrote letters to the president following the school shooting in Connecticut. The president is expected to push bans on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines, as well as universal criminal and mental health background checks for all firearms sales. President Obama is also weighing steps he can take without congressional approval. So tonight we want to know if you think the president should bypass Congress to implement new gun control laws. To vote on our Local 12 poll, call us at 345-1212, or you can vote online at local12.com. We'll have final results a bit later in the broadcast. A downtown shooting and a gunman found at the library. A first look at the suspect coming up.
And the new casino goes all in on a local business. The lucrative deal next on the local station.
New tonight, 2 people are shot and killed on a Kentucky college campus. That story's ahead.